What is the single most you'll understand it when you're older thing? That the quality rather than quantity of friends matters. I'd rather have 4 quarters in my pocket than 100 pennies. That's a great phrase. I love it. Good people aren't always nice people. And vice versa. Edit. Thank you for the awards. Nice is not the same as kind. Nice is image management. Kind is caring about other people. Time off. Working crazy hours in my early 20s was nice because I had a lot of money, but as I became older and more involved with my now fiancé and my friends, I realized that there's a balance. This drove me to look for a job with a little less pay but far better hours, and now I'm happy. Don't work like a slave. You'll miss a lot of good things in life. Edit. Thank you for all the awards. I didn't think this post or comment would blow up like this. Just did that. We'll be working 40 hours a week again instead of 80 hours average. 80 hours a week. Exclamation mark. Where the hell did you work? Taco Bell. Once one pay period I worked 200 hours between 2 stores. 12 to 16 hour shifts regularly. Can we get McDonald's? No, we have food at home. My so is in his 30s and I still have to tell him that, lol. I have to tell myself this pretty regularly too. At this age. The reason I tell myself it though is because I know I'm going to eat it and feel like an absolute trash can afterwards. Now I understand why my mom would order us Happy Meals and get herself nothing, haha. It's so bad. As a kid I could eat 2 cheeseburgers and be full for the whole day. Note I spend a fortune on 4 to 5 burgers and I'm hungry again in an hour. I learned the hard way that McDonald's is only special if you let it be special, because it's literal trash when it comes to nutritional value. Why it's so annoying when you forget to take the chicken out of the freezer. I, too, will be ordering pizza tonight. Understanding why your parents wanted you to go play with the awkward kid, or why they were so keen to help you make friends. It's beyond annoying as a kid when your parents try to guide who make friends with, but most parents instinctually know that bad social habits start early, are hard to break, and can be a real burden when you are older. My mom never liked my friend group and it really annoyed me. Looking back, half of them were assholes anyway and the other half were already doing things that led them into a life of drug addiction after high school. I never got into drinking and drugs like that, but everyone around me was doing it and I had every opportunity to. Looking back, she was just looking out for me, and even though she didn't have proof of what we were doing, she was just an adult who had lived and could tell it wasn't a good group of friends. Why elderly people in nursing homes who get no visitors are so lonely and filled with despair. We had to put my mom in a home because we physically could not care for her anymore. She didn't want to be there and we didn't want her to be, but there weren't any other options. My dad was there every day until he got sick and died. My sister and I stopped in a couple of times a week each. The last month of her life I was there every day. I hope she knew I did the best I could to take care of her. I'm sure she did. The most valuable thing you can do is give your time, and it sounds like you did exactly that. She definitely knew. How many people have a kid thinking it's going to fix their relationship? One too many. Friendships fading away. I remember my dad telling me all kinds of cool stories about things him and his friends did in the past. I even asked him, why aren't you still friends with these people? He really did basically say it's complicated. You'll understand when you're older. Even back then I remember thinking that's crazy. Me and my friends will always be friends. Apostrophe. Sitting here now in my early 30s and it really hits home. Losing best friends is the hardest. High school drama isn't important, like, at all. This is very true. That said, some people will carry their high school behavior with them into the adult world and especially into the workplace. So it's important to keep your guard up and learn how to deal with those types. Which makes me want to say that high school drama is important in that it is kind of a learning curve so that we learn how to behave properly as adults. But some people just don't actually learn. It is possible to do everything right and still fail. Don't let it consume you. Pick up the pieces and move on. I had to learn this after a project that I was on for 3 years was sabotaged and shitcanned. I did some amazing work and poured my life into that project. In the end I had nothing to show for it. It put me in a real slump for a few years. I'm still trying to pull myself out of it without becoming a cynical and jaded asshole. Data learned this lesson from Captain Jane Luckpicket. And so did I. Wow. Thanks for my first awards. For people still wondering, the episode this occurs in is S2E21, Peak Performance. I actually learned a lot of life lessons from Star Trek. Hand-me-downs. I absolutely hated them. Even though my grandma was a genius with them. Dying. Artistic patches. New buttons. They just didn't last compared to the new clothes my older sister had. Then I had 3 boys in 6 years. I'm seriously grateful that my grandma tried so hard to make my hand-me-downs look good. I get it now. Not helping every person who says they're in need. Some folks'll con your ass. Lighter side of this, no matter how much you want to, you can't help everyone. Especially if they're not ready to accept your help. It really hurts sometimes too. Especially if you love that person, but you just can't help them, or they don't want your help. You just sit at the sidelines wondering if you could've done something better. And on the other side, sometimes, as much as you'd like to help, your help seriously isn't needed, and the other person just needs space and/or time alone, which can also be a little painful. Why my parents would look disgusted eating/drinking anything that was sweet. I never understood why they watered down juice until now. When adults said something was too sweet, I literally couldn't comprehend that phrase. It was an oxymoron to me. Sweet equals good. How can something be too good? Question mark? Question mark? Now I completely understand. I'm sitting here with a massive amount of chocolate and Christmas cards from colleagues and I really don't want to eat any of it. 10 years ago I'd have stuffed myself until I was sick. Now I'd rather go boil and mash some potato than eat chocolate. Something a little more lighthearted, but about half the jokes on cartoons like SpongeBob take on a whole new light once you've got more experience under your belt. You either die a SpongeBob or live long enough to become a Squidward. Man, nuts to that sponge. Squidward has to put up with an immature, unaware coworker who even on his days off won't leave him the hell alone. He just wanted some goddamn peace and quiet. Has the senior employee in that situation too. There's 3 workers at the Krusty Krab including Mr. Krabs in that flashback episode. It is well established. Squidward has been there way longer. He was like Mr. Krabs' first hire. Also it's established that if SpongeBob stops working there, the place collapses. So Squidward has seniority, but is infinitely more replaceable. Literally getting older. Never thought much about when adults would say you're still young. Just enjoy it. I always wanted to be older, because I was tired of HS. Wanted to be out of college, etc. Now I want aging to slow down a bit. What parents sacrifice, just so you can do something fun. Last night my husband and I sat in a line of cars for an hour and a half, so our kids could see this cheesy drive-through light display in my town with Santa and other characters. 0/10 not worth it for us, but the kids loved it, and it was worth it to see them be able to do a fun Christmas activity during a pandemic. It made me think of how much my parents had to endure taking my brother and I to theme parks and stuff as a kid just to see us happy. I appreciate it infinitely more now. The quiet, boring, simple times are the best. Everyone's fed, happy, healthy, chill, napping. These are the good times. Very true. Everyone's satisfied with the things that do matter most. Everyone fed, under the blanket warm, relaxed enough to sleep, and feeling wholeheartedly loved is the last thing before you start dreaming. Time. Wasting time. And how time flies. It's mid-deck and I'm saying to myself what the heck, it's been 9 months of COVID and I can't believe this year is almost over. As you age it seems to go faster and faster. When I was younger I felt like time just dragged on some days. Sleep is no punishment, it's a gift. Yup, I used to dislike nap times when I was in kindergarten. Now that I'm older, I wish I could take a nap here and there during my work days. Not everybody is going to like you, even if you're a good person. Conversely, not everyone you like will be a good person. Had to learn that the hard way. Yeah. It wasn't until recently that I realized I was projecting my good qualities onto toxic people and was in turn being taken advantage of by them. Teenagers are just kids. It's something I quite literally was not capable of understanding until I wasn't a teenager anymore. When I was a teenager I felt so grown up, and how sometimes some adults are just kids in adult bodies, or how adults are simply just flawed human beings too. Used to look up to adults for what's right and wrong, but as we grew older, we kind of realized that adults such as our parents are simply just flawed human beings, and they may not know it all too either. Socks are a very nice gift. Yup. My first birthday, after buying a house and moving out, I asked for a sweater and socks and was very happy to have them. There's really no going back, you really just get one shot with each hour you get. Just have to make your peace with the choice/path you took and keep it moving. This is giving me quite a lot of anxiety, lol. Learning to live through loneliness as a child is a gift. That everything has shades of grey / is a sliding scale. It is so easy to understand the world as absolutes when young. Suddenly realizing in my late teens / early 20s that basically nothing is an absolute was a total revelation that really steers my understanding of everything and undoubtedly makes me a better person. There are way too many adults who never realize this. Love. I thought I loved my wife when I was 20. Now I'm 50 and we have been together over 30 years. I realize now that when I was 20 I didn't understand what love is. I hope 70-year-old me looks back on 50-year-old me and says the same thing. Money. There was a reason that you didn't get those shoes, the PS5, a new shiny car, etc. Maintaining a home and keeping the family fed is ducking expensive. The whole buying a home thing blew me away. I didn't realize how much money there was in upkeep on a home. I've lived in my home for 3 years now and had to replace the roof, furnace, and washer altogether costing close to 10k. Getting a roof and furnace for under $10,000 is a steal. Heck, a roof alone for under that amount is a steal. Exactly. Just the roof would usually be 20k 30k where I live. You don't have to be happy all the time. Just once would be nice. The importance of having good insurance and how expensive it can be without getting it from job benefits. So true, it hurts. My husband fell ill after 30 years with a very profitable and successful company. They let him go, and without insurance within several years we lost almost everything. I'm proud he is still standing. He fought through a lot of depression and guilt. His only regret, not taking better care of his health, and believing his work would care. They don't. A parent's love for their child. A year after my granddaughter was born, my daughter was telling me how wonderful her toddler is, how smart she is, and just all around lovable she is. She then said, I don't think I could ever love anyone as much as I love my daughter. Apostrophe. Then she paused for a moment as realization washed over her face. Dad, is this how much you love me? Apostrophe. Bingo. Kiddo. Now you know. Apostrophe. Regret. It is difficult to keep perspective without it being taught as a skill. I've always felt you can regret something, or you can learn a lesson from it. When I regret something, I'm usually shaming myself about making a bad choice. When I learn from something, I usually have forgiven myself for whatever happened and looked for ways to learn lessons from it. Mom and dad die eventually. Share what's going on in your life. Call them. Visit often. When they die you will wish you did. I have talked with my dad almost every day of my life the last 17 years. I love it. It took something like 25 years to have a relationship with my dad. Now he's pretty much my best friend. It's great. Life is fair, but not in the way you think. The laws of nature are fair, in that they don't care about your intentions or morals or anything like that. They do what they do despite what you think it should do. The example I like to use is if you fall off a 200-story building. It doesn't matter if you slipped, or if you jumped, or if you were pushed, you're still going to die. Apostrophe. grabs water bucket, not today Satan. Youth is wasted on the young. I was just thinking about this morning. So true. Well, tell me how to not waste it. I don't want to regret later. Hey PSSST. Please subscribe and like.